It was a cold, grey morning in London. The streets were silent, and the air carried the smell of wet stone and sadness. On Waterloo Bridge, a man named Daniel Reed stood still, staring down at the river below. His clothes were soaked, his eyes hollow. He had lost everything, his job, his wife, and his will to fight. He whispered to himself. Maybe it's better if I just disappear, no one would even notice. Just as Daniel took a step closer to the edge, a voice behind him said softly. Hey, are you okay? He turned around. A man in his 40s stood there, warm eyes, a kind smile, holding an umbrella. You don't look fine, the stranger said. Daniel stayed silent. Rain trickled down his face. I don't want to bother you, the stranger continued, but maybe talk to me for a minute. I'll stay quiet if you want. Just, don't make any decisions in the rain. Daniel almost laughed at the absurdity. But something in that man's tone, calm, genuine, human, made him pause. He nodded. They both stood side by side, looking at the river. After a few minutes, Daniel spoke. You don't even know me. Why do you care? The stranger replied. Maybe because I've been where you are. Daniel looked at him. You? Yes, the man said, I stood on this very bridge 10 years ago, thinking the world would be better without me. But a stranger stopped me, just like I'm stopping you now. Daniel blinked. What happened then? He told me something I'll never forget, the stranger said. He said, if you can't see a reason to live right now, live long enough to find one. Daniel felt a lump in his throat. The two men talked for over an hour. About mistakes. About pain. About starting again. No big speeches, no miracles, just two broken souls finding a little light in each other. When Daniel finally stepped back from the edge, the stranger smiled and said, Promise me one thing, when you see someone standing where you stood today, don't walk away. Daniel nodded. Tears mixed with rain. I promise. They shook hands. And then, just as quietly as he'd appeared, the stranger walked away. It had been 7 years. Daniel was now a counselor, helping people through dark times. Every morning, he walked across the same bridge. One afternoon, he noticed a young woman standing alone, looking down at the water, frozen, afraid. Without thinking, Daniel walked toward her and said, Hey, are you okay? The girl looked up, startled, just as Daniel offered her an umbrella. She whispered, I don't think I can do this anymore. Daniel smiled gently. Maybe just talk to me for a minute. Don't make any decisions in the rain. The camera slowly zooms out, showing them standing side by side. Just like Daniel and the stranger all those years ago. Sometimes, a simple act of kindness can save a life. Sometimes, you can be the reason someone decides to stay. We never know how much one word, one smile, one question can mean to a person standing on the edge. If this story touched your heart, share it. Because you never know whose life you might change just by reaching out.